actually playing an AG. I remember when they first came out with the WBC teams, there were two of them.
WBC Ascension, or maybe that was I think their tournament was called Ascension or something like that.
Something like that. Something like that. But anyhow, I feel like they're. I feel I'm not sure if this is a full 6-man roster that used to be on fire, but the team itself, the original WBC Fire, I think they actually did decently well. I think they had some top 8 finishes, maybe even made it into the semifinals once, maybe. But, you know, Bedtime Fugitives, we'll see if they're going to, you know, I feel like this could be a good match regardless. We're headed to Oasis. We've got Route 66 as the second map and Watchpoint Gibraltar as the third map, Hurix. And I'm waiting for next week, man. Next week, I think I'm going to throw Junkertown in the mix. Maybe. Maybe.
Okay.
Just to throw a little bit of a curveball with these.
It's had a little time to settle into my brain a little bit, so I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. I think we talked about it a little bit before, and I was like, not sure how I feel about it in terms of if I liked it as much, but I'm feeling it a little bit more now.
Very interesting approach from Fire here. They come out from the bottom, and not everybody had the vertical mobility that a Winston and D.Va did. So they ended up losing out on that Winston right away, but nope, they're going to bring Hang back into this one. Bedtime Fugitives with the numbers advantage, given that Sky is kind of out of the mix right now, and that's going to be an easy capture for these guys off of an odd approach here.
Still just laying into that D.Va. Need to get her out of that mech right now. If he can get out of that mech, they're going to have a lot of room to just start getting some hooks, getting some good potential for some actual kills here. Sanker just going to line up a lot of them right there with that Deadeye. And, man, this is still going back and forth here, Storm.
Oh my goodness, the Dragon Blade and the Tactical Visor clean it up here, because I thought it was fight over, but man, Sky really came back into this one, and Garuso there and Brando able to turn it up for the team and secure the first objective points. I mean, I put all my faith there into Bedtime Fugitives, you know, maintaining control. They had the numbers, but they didn't press their advantage whatsoever here. It was like a 6-on-3, 6-on-4, and they didn't capitalize on it.
That's the thing. I mean, when you do have that kind of ability to just get in there, you can't let Dog just generate that EMP and then just completely spin that fight back around in their favor. You have to start going for those pecks. You have to demech that D.Va as quick as you possibly can, and man, he's just going to town right now on its Sinker.
And they're not going to have that Resurrect available now, because look how far back they're being pressured right now. It really feels like this. I mean, it's only been a couple of minutes into this first round here, but it feels like Bedtime Fugitives don't really know when or how to pull the trigger and actually initiate off of a kill, or at least, you know, not get pushed back into their spawn. But now they're going to go off of this one. Tactical Visor coming out from Zoker here. Is he going to find much off of it? EMP's out from Dog Gamer. He's looking to capitalize. Now they have it from Brando, but Brando gets taken down by Sinker from afar. And they're going to be able to clean this one up and make the flip of the side here.
And a late kill there onto Dazu as well. Sinker just making sure that they get that late stagger. Now it's all about holding it down, and honestly, it's been a little tough for them to get to this point. I mean, getting onto the point, they've had a couple of moments where they really felt like they were kind of winning those fights with ease, but just not able to secure it in the long term. Now going to have to deal with not only a Blade from Garuso, who just was insane with it the last time he pulled it out, but a Sound Barrier as well. That's going to be tough to deal with.
They're going to come out here with the Dragon Blade Sinker, the first to fall. We know that he's a big threat, but they're going to bring him right back up into the mix here. But they lose to Mercy. Now self-destruct out on the point, but no, it falls down into the pit. So not going to find any value off of that one here. It's now another EMP from the Sombra for WBC Fire comes through. Do they have enough tools to actually capitalize on this one right now? It's a D.Va J kind of making a difference here against this Roadhog on the side here. Just got to remember the whole time, though, Bedtime Fugitives maintaining control. Still have a Roadhog here now. Mercy back up in the mix. Roadhog gets hacked, though, but hangs back in here. They bring up Zoker, and they're looking to continue to press this forward. They have a Primal Rage from the Winston. Sky actually going to go ahead and pop this one, Hurix, but it looks like Bedtime Fugitives pulled themselves back into this fight.
Oh, canceling the ult. Dog with a huge play. Gonna get canceled out because of that. But they do flip the point here, Storm. And now Garuso gonna go ahead, try to get very aggressive as they actually get the res off up onto that Sombra. She's gonna go ahead and start trying to generate that EMP back again. And remember last time, Bedtime Fugitive just unable to basically finish the fight out. And if Dog is actually able to get that EMP out again, they might turn the fight a second time, but that's not gonna be the case. What a headshot there.
They pop the Valkyrie here from the Mercy, and that should do the deed, but it was unfortunate they were forced to give up the point control. They could very well be at 90% right now had they held on to that throughout Hurix, but now it's going to give a big opportunity for WBC Fire to get a regroup and see what they can do with this. Dog Gamer is actually over to the Tracer. Jay making a move over to D.Va now, but there are so many tools at the hands of Bedtime Fugitives, most notably that Sound Barrier and Tactical Visor, which are going to make a difference with no Caruso taken down. Going to get res back up. Needs to do something big here with the Dragon Blade. It looks like Sound Barrier only connects onto a few of them, but he still isn't unsheathing the blade. Now he's going to try for it here. Outlasting that Sound Barrier is really what he was looking for. Finds 2 kills for himself, but unfortunately, too many members here from Bedtime Fugitives. They secure the first round.
Man, a lot of support play coming out there for WBC Fire. But, I mean, really, it helped them last a lot longer in those fights, a lot of times than what you would see from Bedtime Fugitive. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, getting that Tracer out is going to be big for them. Dom making that swap over. Now they're going to have Brando actually on the Mercy to just kind of cater to Dob making a swap now again over to Pharah. I think that's a good swap. Looks like he's playing with it a little bit. We'll have to see what he actually winds up going with. Zoker, on the other hand, though, is in fact going to be on a Pharah himself, and they have Teke going over to the Mercy, so they will have that opportunity to go head-to-head in the skies. Dog and Zoker there.
But Brando was on Soldier 76, and now he's playing the Mercy. So they must feel pretty comfortable with playing multiple roles, because that is a big change.
I mean, it is the WBC team. I mean, those guys are known for...
It really is, but it's just that's an odd swap to me here. Because I could see the D.Va to the Tracer for Dog Gamer earlier, but now he's over to the Pharah, so he is really changing up here. But Zoker gets the best of him in that one-on-one Pharah v Pharah. He is controlling the skies right here, and Jay needs to do something about him. He's really not paying attention now. He's going to look for something, but he's going to get demeched, and Bedtime Fugitive's going to make easy work of that fight.
And it's over just like that. Zoker, what a monster here on the Pharah so far. I mean, it's hard to tell at this point. I mean, is it the case of his Pharah just being so stellar, or is it more the case of the fact that just no pressure was given to him at all? I mean, yeah, he's landing his shots and everything like that, but it is kind of easy to land those shots when you're just basically out there in target practice. Now, finally, we're going to be seeing the Pharah get up in the skies in front of him, and right in his face is going to be Zoker, and he cancels him out immediately again. Are they going to do anything about this?
The barrage comes out there. He instantly takes advantage of knowing that Pharah's not going to be able to hit a rocket onto him after he just came off of that resurrect, and they are just going to clean the board once again here at the hands of Zoker on the Pharah. This man is really raining down justice from above on these guys here. What do you do now to be able to deal with him? And Jay's not on that D.Va anymore. I mean, that's more power to Zoker to do what he wants to.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they thought a Tracer is going to be able to answer this better, because, I mean, yeah, they're going to be able to put some kind of pressure on it, but basically the same kind of pestering damage that you're going to be expecting from a D.Va, and Zoker is still just hammering into Doc, completely landing body shot after body shot, has him down low again after 2 more body shots here against the wall. Easy game for him to get him down, but finally dealt with.
A great defense matrix coming out there from Catachrist, able to save his Pharah, getting resurrected there by the Mercy. And they hold on to both support ultimates once again. 73%, pretty much one team fight away from ensuring that they go up 1-0 in this best of 3 round of 8 here. And it's going to be up to Garuso here, I think, for WBC Fire. He did pretty good things with the Dragon Blade in the first round. Wasn't enough to secure to really secure the round for themselves, but Jay Burks getting that resurrect already used onto him right now. Not a good start. Now we see Valkyrie actually come out from Brando. We'll see what sort of an impact that's going to make here. Now a Sound Barrier comes out from Dazu. Needs to be something big here from Garuso. I'm waiting for him to pull the trigger with this Dragon Blade, as both teams already used that Sound Barrier. But there's Zoker up top with the barrage. Doesn't quite find a whole lot off it. Dragon Blade's out. Zoker, the first victim of the blade, gets brought back up though, thanks to the Mercy here. We're in overtime, and neither team really making themselves putting themselves in the dominant position in this fight here. But now with Brando out of the fight and the main tank Sky here, I think Garuso might have an opportunity to bring this one back, but I just don't think they have enough tools. The tank is out of the picture. Mercy is out of the picture. Overtime takes down, and Bedtime Fugitives find themselves with a 1-0 lead here.
What was going on there? It said Bedtime Fugi, and that was it. But either way, I mean, Bedtime Fugitives looking incredibly solid there on that second map, especially with Zoker here on the Pharah, as you can see, just landing body shot after body shot after body shot. So much of a commanding presence here, even as he pulls out the barrage. And again, like you said earlier, I mean, really just laying it into them for sure. But here's the thing. I mean, they didn't really do anything to try to deal with it at all, it seemed. I mean, there was a couple of instances where we saw Da actually winning the fight. I mean, I think it was just one time. But outside of that, I mean, we saw a D.Va swap over to a Tracer. We saw no hit scan play coming in. We saw no real aggression going up to the skybox to try to deal with the Pharah. I mean, even when they had the D.Va, they weren't jumping up in her face to try to, you know, make her start missing by having him just have to, like, go all over the place to try to avoid damage. I mean, he was, again, just playing target practice, it seemed.
Well, hopefully my internet isn't cutting out for you if I accidentally cut out when I said Bedtime Fugitives. But we are headed to Route 66 for the second map. And we'll see who's going to take control here. If it's going to be an easy 2-0 for Bedtime Fugitives. I wouldn't say easy because that first round definitely looked like WBC Fire had something, you know, in their back pocket to be able to use against them. But it felt like Bedtime Fugitives really figured it out with that Pharah in particular from Zoker, as you know, he was pretty much, I don't want to say a one-man show, but Hurix was kind of a one-man show there on that second round, just dominating those guys. So looks like we are good to go to Route 66, and we'll see what kind of things Fire is going to throw at them, because I felt like that triple DPS setup wasn't really the answer. You know, they moved off of a D.Va, which didn't make any sense at all to be able to deal with that Pharah over to a Tracer. So we'll see if they want to change anything up this time, and maybe Zoker stick to the Pharah, because clearly they didn't have an answer for him.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment he's on a soldier defensively. I mean, I definitely expect him to probably pick it up on offense. I don't know how consistent they feel with it on defense. We'll just have to wait and see. But if at any point he does pull that out and we see them with a composition kind of like what we're seeing right now on their attacking side, they're just going to have no way to deal with them. So I'm assuming more than likely they'll probably swap things around and probably put out a soldier. But remember, the only player that we've seen on a soldier so far is the guy playing Mercy. So I'm not sure what to expect from these guys so far. It seems like we are going to be seeing an offensive Pharah from Da, but otherwise it looks like Catacrys and Zoker are sticking to what they know. Catacrys, of course, going over to Roadhog like he was on the first map. Zoker back on the soldier as well, and then Sinker actually, they're going to be going for double hit scan. So this Pharah from Da is probably just about to get lit up out of the sky completely as he comes around the corner.
Well, just a few seconds to go here. If we do see Bedtime Fugitives take this, it will move into the semifinals here tonight, in which they would more than likely take on, it looks like no anime allowed or Rivals Gaming. As I think we saw Rivals Gaming last week in the tournament as well. Kind of surprised us there, but Dog Gamer is going to be on that Pharah. We'll see if Sinker and the double hit scan. Man, Zoker and Sinker, man, they should have a heyday here trying to deal with them, because Sinker on the McCree in the first round was pretty deadly, Hurix, as well as Zoker on the Blue 76. So we'll see what they make of this one. Maybe Dog Gamer is going to have to, you know, change up the strategy after he gets picked off a few times. If that's the case, no guarantee whatsoever for that, Hurix, as they are making a little bit of ground, looking for Bedtime Fugitives to pull the trigger. And that's something they actually kind of struggled with in the first round here. They didn't really know when to initiate or exactly how to initiate off of that. And now it looks like on the payload, Hang trying to get some work done, but no, too much pressure. An easy cleanup for WBC Fire.
Yeah, I mean, all off the back of just getting a nice clean opening onto Catacrys. Just focusing him down. J-Burst with a great performance there to lock him down and give them that early advantage, pull out that first res, and then just kind of going from there. Of course, obviously, that double hit scan not really doing a whole lot to Da at all. I mean, Zoker and Sinker didn't even really look at him all that much.
They're going to bring out the whole hog. It's interrupted, though. Nice hook comes out there from Catacrys. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and pop this Primal Rage now, trying to outlast, but they're already two members down. Garuso, he has a Dragon Blade. He's going to unsheath it here. It should be easy cleanup, but nobody can deal with the Pharah threat, Hurix. It doesn't even matter that Sinker's on this McCree. Zoker has a Pulse Bomb, but I think he's just coming off a respawn, so not really going to be able to make much of this right now. Or actually, no, he's on the payload, excuse me, but he gets taken down regardless. He dropped the Pulse Bomb. That's going to be a first checkpoint secured, Hurix, and they're going to have 4 minutes to work with. 4:40 as a matter of fact, and they are looking dominant in this push.
Yeah, they really haven't put that much focus onto taking that Pharah down or putting any kind of pressure out onto him, and you would think that in some regard it would actually be focused out over towards their main tank, Sky, as he kind of encroaches and tries to jump in. They put a lot of pressure out onto him, but that hasn't happened as much. And look at this, they made swaps, but all they really did was just swap the hit scans over. Sinker and Zoker both just swapped characters. That's really all they did.
Sound barrier coming out here, but we do see on the other end another sound barrier barrage up top from Gamer, but not a whole lot of time. Oh no, he actually picks up two. Both of the tanks gonna get dropped here. Brando though, and actually both Mercies went ahead and used their ultimates there here, so not gonna have those for the next engagement, but both teams pretty much popping everything on the line here. We'll see if the Deadeye connects there from Zoker, connects on this guy, finds a kill for himself. Pretty back and forth, but for the most part, it looks like WBC Fire, I mean, they have the closer spawn, but Catacris is tearing it up in the back line. CRX, he is not being dealt with. As I say that, going to be taken down. Hang now back in the mix to protect the payload, but do they have enough people here to actually make a difference? As Caruso unsheaths the blade again, looking to make the difference, finds 2 kills for himself, and that's going to be the end of that defensive pull.
That's one thing that's worked for them consistently so far is Caruso with the blade. I mean, every time that he's pulled it out, maybe aside from one time on the last map, you know, he's always been able to get multi-kills with it. Very, very solid performance there as well. Just locking that fight down, getting it back in their favor. It was looking a little bit shaky at the end there with Zoker and Sinker finally finding some kills there for themselves. But what was that hook?
What in the world did we just witness? But they're going to go ahead and pop this whole hog here from Jay Burks, trying to allow this payload to grab a little bit more distance, but it's on the side. It's Catacris reeling in Brando, eliminating the Mercy threat. Up top, we got the Gamer. Nobody really dealing with the Pharah in the skies. They had the support of a sound barrier at their backs as well, Hurex, and just like that, they managed to turn it around, secure a second checkpoint, and they've got 4 minutes heading into the final stretch here on Route 66. A complete turnaround from the performance on that second round of Oasis, Hurex. What do you do right now? I mean, you've got the double hit scan to deal with this Pharah, but you still can't find a way to do anything. Hang makes a move over to Reinhardt.
Yeah, this is where they're going to make those tank swaps. Hang and Catacris both making swaps, actually, with Catacris going over to the Zarya himself. They're going to go for some team wiping plays here if they can. Lock down that Mercy if possible, if they ever get the opportunity to. And finally, some pressure coming out into Pharah, and who would have thought that it would have been from the Reinhardt?
I mean, Sinker went ahead and popped the tactical visor, but it was all about that front line making a push. Gonna keep reiterating it. I mean, you know, it's felt like their initiation has been a little bit off in this series, so maybe the Reinhardt, maybe the Zarya protecting him with that projected barrier is going to help him out a bit, but no, Sky goes in for the charge, finds a bit of damage. We do see Gamer now on the Junkrat as well, a complete change from the Pharah. Dragon Blade's out here, but the Resurrect comes in with the Valkyrie from the side of Bedtime Fugitives to keep them in this fight. They use the sound barrier as well, but all of those ultimates seemingly not enough to seal the deal here. Another Resurrect from Brando gets Caruso back up into the mix here, and they clean it up with ease. Sinker is running around wondering what to do right now. So many ultimates in that fight, and still Bedtime Fugitives can't find a way to come out on top.
This is slowed down a little bit, but not enough for Bedtime Fugitive to feel comfortable with where they're at right now. Earthshatter at the ready for Hang, but they're going to have to deal with the Reptile first.
He's going around the back side here. Can he find anything with it? There's a Graviton Surge and an Earthshatter on the payload. Catacris needs some follow-up damage here, but there's nothing there. A sound barrier comes out from Dazu, keeps him alive for the time being, but Sky is dropped. Sinker on the back side with the tactical visor, cleans up house here, and now 2:05 on the clock. But again, not much to work with on their side as Jade is coming up with the Graviton Surge of their own. They might be able to do something big in this next fight.
We'll have to see if the Junkrat here from Zoker is able to slow down this aggression that's just been unrelenting from WBC Fire so far. And finally, we do see that Graviton coming out. They're going to get right up into it. A nice concussion mine actually going to be blocking them off from just diving right on top of it, and they stay alive for now.
Caruso with the Dragon Blade, he manages to pick off one in the back, going up top, looking for another here. Sinker doesn't quite see him. He's not even going to go for him. He's after the Mercy right now, Hurex, and again, Sky has an Earthshatter. We'll see if how he's going to actually use this, as he has a support of that Valkyrie, or at least he did for a moment there. But again, Catachrist out of position as well. They should be able to find an easy kill onto him with 115 on the board. They're going to have to find a way to hustle back into this one. Hang is here, so is the Mercy, but the Earthshatter comes out from Sky. He connects. They clean this one up. They secure a third checkpoint here with 107 remaining.
Really, really great stuff from these guys. A big turnaround from what we just saw before, where, you know, they basically just got completely stomped out. But this time around, it looks like they had their way with them a little bit. But now we're gonna have to see what we're gonna be kind of finding from Bedtime Fugitives. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I mean, the Pharah play could definitely come out from Zoker. It looks like he's already feeling like that's probably the best case scenario for them. You know, pull that one out. It already did well the last time. If they're able to get a good time off of this as well, I mean, honestly, I think they're looking for something even like above 2 minutes to be able to really kind of sit comfortably here. Although they also kind of struggled against the Sombra before, and Da is going to be pulling that one out. If they have anything in their repertoire here, pull out some kind of hit scan or put out some kind of pressure onto Zoker, they might be able to make a stop here with everything available. Garuso looks like he's going to be on a soldier here. I mean, they have been switching everybody around, it seems. I think the only person who's really kind of stuck with anything has basically just been Sky so far, really. I mean, Dog Gamer to some extent has been, you know, on DPS, I guess, but they always play 3 support, it seems, when they actually do pull out the Sombra, which is not typical for when you pick a Sombra. I mean, I don't know if I would say ideal. Probably would say ideal because, you know, obviously going to slow down the rate of all of those support ultimate charges, and since Soundbearer, EMP, and Valkyrie are all very pivotal, it does kind of hurt a little bit, but I would say certainly to be safe, it's not typical. You wouldn't typically do this.
You're gonna lose out on a lot of your beef as well. And the important thing to note is that Zoker and Sinker both had hit scan, but there really wasn't a diva to be able to do. It feels like none of these guys are really wanting to play diva. They maybe played a little bit of it. I think Dog Gamer and Jay both did in the first round of Oasis, but you know, they're going to be going up against a May here and a McCree, so maybe that would have been nice to have one in the mix of things. But that in mind, here Sky gets dropped early, and like I said, now they don't have a front line. Now they don't really have anything to initiate off club, and Dazu gonna get dropped here. This should be easy pickings for Bedtime Fugitives. You know, if I'm WBC Fire right now, I get out of here. You're just wasting more time. Sombra barely able to escape from that one, but they're going to continue to pressure this with the Winston making his move into the back. Dog Gamer gonna get dropped way late. And just like that, they put themselves in a terrific position to be able to secure this first checkpoint.
And we're also seeing the res down. I mean, it's not up anymore. They've gone for complete isolation here on defense, and they've done a fantastic job of it so far. We saw the supports completely out of position before. Here's going to be that second re-entry. They have EMP ready. It looks like he's going to be going for it pretty soon here. He actually does drop it, but they already got the point.
Yeah, you got to remember that spawn advantage is going to be way up here now for the side of Bedtime Fugitives, and they are just going to capitalize on this. Easy ult charge is what I'm going to call it right now. Is these guys should not make it out alive. Dazu in the back here will get dropped, and they should be able to follow up onto the 76 Mercy combo here with 5 minutes on the board, setting an even quicker pace as to what we saw there from WBC Fire when they made their push. And they are just controlling everything right now. And now we're going to see Fire make some moves. Dog Gamer back to the Junkrat, and Sky over to the Reinhardt here, providing for that double tank setup.
And Jayberg's off of that. Pharah as well, going over to the Roadhog. That Blizzard is just completely... Whoa. I'm not sure about that one. They might be able to get the Reinhardt, though, so this is going to work out.
Okay, you pick up
and the Roadhog.
Oh man, well, he's not quite finished yet. There's no one else really there to be able to capitalize on this. I'm really wondering what the rest of the team is doing, because Hang and Zoker were the only two up there, and now he's forced to go ahead and pop that Primal Rage. They do have a Resurrect, and they do have that reset from the Valkyrie right now, but Sky almost gets taken out. He is going to get dropped there by Catachrist. They should be able to continue. Man, there's been no stop whatsoever to this payload's movement here. They have 5 minutes and 35 seconds to come down the final stretch. They're looking incredibly good in doing so.
Really coming down to what this Riptire can do here. I mean, obviously momentum heavily in favor here of the offense, and this time we're going to be seeing the Riptire coming out. Can he find anything with it?
Oh, it does get Zoker, but It's just going to delay the inevitable right now. I mean, that payload is still moving. Zoker should be able to be up in a few seconds. They do have a Zarya now to work with that Mei, but of course, he probably wants to drop the Blizzard before Catacris tries to get up to 100% here. As it looks like WBC Fire really trying to press this, really trying to look for an aggressive play, but the Blizzard comes out in the back. It connects onto a couple, and one of them is Garuso, who popped the tactical visor, but a sound barrier gonna keep him alive. There's no one there to really follow up off of this here. They lose Hang. He's gonna get brought back up into this one as Sky kind of charges out of position. He should be able to follow through. Now a sound barrier comes out from the side of Bedtime. Fugitive Sinker connect with a Deadeye. They should be able to continue to steamroll him over a terrific wall. Kind of catches Sky out of position. He's still alive somehow. Earthshatter comes down on top of the semi. Kind of not needed, to be quite honest here, but they're still pushing the payload quite quickly here. Can they pull this back?
I don't know. I mean, they're still just running this one through. Doff finally with another Riptire here. Got this one pretty quick here. Needs to get something going with it. It's forcing them back. It's slowing down the pace of this attack. That's good. He might not be able to get a kill, but at least for now, he gave them space to work with, a little room to breathe, and that's all that they could ask for from that at the moment.
They pushed them all the way back towards that final elbow there, just off of that Riptire alone. So they have to be feeling pretty good about this. Mei Ice Wall not really going to connect onto anything here, but gotta remember they have Valkyrie to work with on offense. Not much else. They do actually Graviton Surge coming up soon, and the fact that Sky is now out of the picture is going to be pivotal. Gets brought back up, but a Graviton Surge comes out from Jay. Do they have the follow-up? It's going to be out from Catacris as well. Pretty even trades across the board. The Earthshatter comes down from Sky. He connects onto Hang, and the WBC Fire are going to hold this push off and buy themselves a little bit more time here on the defense as they try to push this to a game number 3.
I think in a more ideal world, you know, they would have waited a little bit longer to make sure that they get that Blizzard online, but wasn't the case here, so they weren't able to actually secure those kills. Maybe now the Blizzard's going to be able to come into the back line, and they're going to be able to find something along with it, and they will be able to execute the Mercy right off the bat. Can they find more, though?
The big thing is that Zoker is alone, and a double kill comes out, and it connects onto Badger. But, oh man, they're just going to actually go ahead and pop the Valkyrie, bring him back up now. Tactical Visor out here from Garuso. From behind here, nobody sees him. Hang pops up the shield, so he doesn't really find anything. There's an Earthshatter, connects onto 2, hits Lucio, and they find the kill. Junkrat in a vulnerable spot as well right now as Hang charges deep into the back. He's actually kind of out of position. We'll see if he's able to keep himself alive. Is able to get back into the payload's vicinity here, and they're going to regroup once again on this one. And remember that spawn has advantage here for the defense here. So if the offense doesn't press the numbers advantage, they're not going to be able to make anything of this push, and they're going to be forced back once again.
Oh, we're going to see that Deadeye come through. Can he find it? He finds 3! Storm, what is this? There's the Graviton coming down as well,
surge,
man.
Do they find anything off this one? It looked like that. Was that a reflected Graviton Surge? I don't think it was, actually. No, I just think they had no follow-up off of that one, as Catacris had just came up off of his. So they do manage to finish out the map with an abundance of time. And Hurix 202 against 107. That's a couple of pushes. WBC Fire going to have to find something big here with only a minute to work with.
Yeah, as I said before, really what they're looking for is over 2 minutes here to make sure that they have plenty of extra pushes. I mean, you really, like you said, have about 2 extra that you can do here. I mean, if it gets really close to the wire, you maybe have an extra 3, or if you start getting further away, maybe only 1, but typically I would say on average you'd have about 2 extra pushes from a time like this, and that might be just enough to making sure you secure the deal here. I mean, the way that they pushed out that first point, I think that they might be able to do pretty well here. They just have to make sure that they don't lose Catacris early on, or lose anyone for that matter early on. They should be fine here to hold for at least a minute. All they have to do is win 1 fight.
A Bastion is currently locked in here. Maybe they're taking notes of Envious's push from the Overwatch Contenders playoffs this past Sunday. But nope, gonna go over to Tracer, so not gonna have any of that. Dog Gamer currently on the Orisa. We'll see if he wants to stick with that one. That would be another pick. No, they're going with it here. It's okay. They are gonna go with the Bastion Orisa pick with a Hanzo as well, and go back to the Fair Mercy, which actually worked out quite nicely for him. Hanzo just wanting to use that arrow to get any intel from the Sonic Arrow, but right away the Bastion goes down, gets brought back up, so they are aware of the strategy, but The real question is, do they have the tools, the necessary tools here to be able to deal with it?
Well, EMP getting up pretty high now, 70% in the backline, going to be able to deny that personal healing from the Bastion. He gets right out at 82% now. Dazu did find a kill onto Hang though, so now it's 5 versus 6 as Catacris actually gets demeched there. This is going to be...
This is terrible, dude. This is terrible. Hang's out of the fight, you lose your diva, and this is actually a really good opportunity, I think, for WBC Fire to get something. Please don't use that EMP without the rest of your team. He's actually going to back off, look for a full regroup. They do not want them to get this checkpoint, and you know, a single team fight could do it, but you have to worry about that EMP, and you don't have anything to work with at this stage if you're WBC Fire.
Well, if Zoker can stay alive here and they re-entry with that EMP, they're going for it right now. They actually do just dump it on top of basically everybody. The Bastion's pretty low. They find the kill. Sinker is going insane right now.
And that Orisa got completely melted. Sinker with the tactical visor. That will secure a hold about halfway through, or a little over halfway through that first checkpoint. Not a terrible push, but you're going up against 2 minutes from the Bedtime Fugitives, who were not stopped at all until the third phase of the map here. So a single push here, a single team fight could push Bedtime Fugitives into the semifinals tonight.
It'll depend on how close they want to hold. I mean, holding close obviously has its advantages and disadvantages. I mean, looking at where that payload finished, if you hold close, you might be able to get back and get a decent fight, but it's going to be definitely not in your favor in terms of momentum at all. So it's a tough call. I mean, do you think you can hold 2 minutes on the corner, or do you think it's better to just go ahead, dive in, try to beat them in that quick push game, take off a minute off the clock right off the bat, maybe pull back, play the corner for another minute? You're really kind of gambling at that point, though, so there's a lot of options for them here. We'll have to see which one they want to go with, but either way, it looks like they're starting off with double tank here. Sky, J Burks going with that same composition towards the end of second point. And Garuso, as always, going to be on that Genji. The only time we haven't seen him on it was, I think, just right there with the Bastion. Are we going to have an opposing Bastion from Zoker? Oh, nope, May pick coming out.
Nope.
Never mind.
Well, Garuso, I think a lot of this match is in the hands here of him for the side of WBC Fire. We'll see if he's able to turn it up here on the Genji. He was able to do it before, but again, Zoker on the May did pretty good things last time and almost losing out on Sky there. Good shield coming out from Jay, able to keep him up. Gamer on the edge here, looking to isolate him, but a nice May wall almost connects here. They actually reel in Jay, and they find Gamer early on here. Sky is about to fall as well. You can't afford to lose two early on here. And now with the Lucio out of the picture, it looks like he's going to be brought back up into this one, but they're already outnumbered at this point here. It's not a good situation for these guys whatsoever, especially with Sky out of the picture. And that might have just done it here. I mean, this is like a 6-on-4 on the payload.
Yeah, and a lot more pressure coming out. Wall goes down. They're going to be able to just push them into that little room there inside the gas station. They're still finding kills. There's a Graviton Surge coming down. Can they turn this right here, though?
But there's no follow-up, unfortunately. Here's a sound barrier out as well. Garuso has a Dragon Blade. Can he pull this one back for his team? And it looks like they're holding off the push here. 4 people are down for Bedtime Fugitives. They make the hold somehow here. They pull back into this one off of Jay Burks, Dazu, and Brando. But those are 3 ultimates they don't have to work with in this next fight here. And Bedtime Fugitives are going to be coming in hot with 4, possibly 5 with the sound barrier.
I mean, how do you deal with the unbelievable amount of firepower that Bedtime Fugitive has right now? Yes, they only have 30 seconds to work with, but it's only one team fight. As long as they don't lose anybody early here, Zoker already with the Blizzard. Can they find anybody off of it?
Didn't quite get the Winston. Great shield came out from Jay, but the Deadeye connects there from Sinker. He connects on the 2. Easy cleanup comes out from Catacris. And that should be the deed. It should be done here. It took him a little bit longer than anticipated, but Gamer, the lone survivor, he will be taken down. And Bedtime Fugitives push their way here into the finals. Winston trying to get on the payload, not quite in time with the Primal Rage. And they will find a 2-0 set in the second attempt here of Route 66 and move themselves into the semifinals tonight.
I mean, not without a little bit of a battle, though, Storm, and we've been seeing some good matches actually lately in our round of 8. I mean, before I can remember, like months ago, you know, a lot of those matches would be kind of blowouts, but lately we've been really getting a lot of good competition, and this has been nothing short of that for sure. So still a little bit of a battle, but I'm curious to see if we're going to be seeing Zoker back on the Pharah and, you know, some of the later matches if we do see him going into the finals, but certainly in the semis, because against WBC Fire, I mean, he was lights out.
Well, they are still awaiting their opponent. It looks like Rivals Gaming is still down 0-1 to no anime allowed, so not quite sure what's going on with that set.